Hi there, David Harper here, and this is episode 5 of my Antiques Valuation Quiz here on YouTube. So I'm going to show you 3 very expensive items, all of which have sold in auction recently. So get ready with your valuations, and top tip, don't be tight with them. These are big money items. So item number 1 coming up. How much would you pay for this? Well, it's obvious what it is. It's a miniature painting of a young boy, very traditional, very antique looking, 12 inches by around 9 inches tall. You might have something at home a bit like this, like the family that owned this painting. It had been languishing in their home for a few generations. Nobody paid much attention to it. But if you've got something like this at home, start paying attention to it pretty quickly, because this was taken to Raymond Dancy, who checked it over and said, yes, it's absolutely an antique. We think they said it was 18th century, probably Italian. All makes sense to me. And they put a value on this in auction at £400 to £600. How do you feel about that? Is it too expensive? Is it cheap? Did it make more? Well, before you make your mind up, let me give you a bit more background information before I give you a chance to put your valuation on this little painting. So it was consigned to auction, and that's fine. But then it went online, and collectors, dealers and museums around the world got a bit excited when they saw this picture. The reason for that is this. Hundreds of potential buyers believed this not to be Italian 18th century by an unknown artist, but in fact by a known artist by the name of Mary Beale, a very famous female painter from the 17th century, circa 1660. A rare beastie indeed, if this is true. But when you compare this image to images by Mary Beale held in places like the Tate Museum, this looks remarkably like her son Bartholomew. Now, the thing is it a copy? Is it a real Mary Beale? Well, things got very heated online, and prior to this thing being sold in auction, bidding reached £20,000. So what do you think? Was it a real Mary Beale of her son, or a old fake? Well, the price really determines the answer to that question, and I'm going to reveal the price in 15 seconds. Here comes your 15 seconds thinking time. You put a value on that. Good luck.
Base of my existence, and nothing you could give us could put it out. And I lost those old sad cemented boots.
And I'm back. Right, let's see how good your instincts are when it comes to paintings. Well, you know that bidding got to £20,000 online before the actual auction really begun. Well, I can tell you that Philip Mould, the art expert and dealer from the Antiques Roadshow, and he who does the show Fake or Fortune with Fiona Bruce, he was the underbidder to this painting. So you can be pretty sure that this really is a Mary Beale of her son Bartholomew. The last record for Mary Beale's work, the world record prior to this sale, was £75,000. Remember, this was estimated at £400 to £600. So start digging through the paintings at home, by the way. Final hammer price. How did you do? This original, proper, found Mary Beale painting sold for £100,000 plus auctioneer's commission. That was a very good day out for the owners of that little miniature painting. They are out there, people, so check them out before you throw them out. So tell me, how have you done? Put some comments down below. Let me know where you were with your valuations, how wrong or right you were. And let's move on to item number 2. And I'm going to show you something so posh, it is unbelievable. In fact, the next item could not get any posher. How much would you pay for this? It's a gold locket, solid gold, dated 1865. But get this, this thing was given as a gift by Queen Victoria to one of her godchildren. I told you it was posh. It went through auction, through Cheffins, and it carried an estimate, this rare beastie, at £3,000 to £5,000. But how much do you think it really made? Well, before you make your mind up, let me give you some crucial background information. It's not just gold. Look at the front of this locket. It's monogrammed VR, which of course stands for Victoria Regina. But it's not just monogrammed, it's positively bulging with diamonds, emeralds and rubies. Well, it's bound to be, isn't it? You really wouldn't expect anything less from the Queen of Great Britain and the Empress of India. I mean, strictly speaking, she didn't become Empress until 1877, 12 years after this was gifted, but you get where I'm coming from. And just so you know exactly who the gift is from, open up the locket and we see a beautiful miniature painting of Queen Victoria herself. Very nice of her to put a painting of herself in the locket, plus an inscription which reads, "To Lady Victoria Scott, on her marriage, February the 23rd, 1865, from Victoria R." Quite a wedding gift, I think you'll agree. This thing has been in the family ever since, so this is the first time the locket has been on the market. It's important. You know it's worth a lot of money, but how much do you think the final hammer price was? Last bit of information before I give you 15 seconds thinking time. Remember, this thing obviously screams that it was a gift from Queen Victoria. So in its day, it would have been something that would have been worn, you know, very regularly at social events, proving that the wearer was in the favour of Queen Victoria. And that royal connection today is so incredibly powerful, it's unreal. And there are collectors out there with a lot of money. So here come 15 seconds thinking time for you to put your valuation on this locket. Good luck.
My existence and nothing you could give us could put it out. And I lost those old sad cemented boots.
And I'm back. Well, get ready for a shock. I'm sure that you know that this thing made more than the estimate, but if you guessed anywhere near the figure of, including auctioneer's commission, £24,000 for this locket, then very well done. Let me know in the comments down below how you did on the locket. So why did it make so much money? Well, it sort of goes without saying, really. The rarity value. You'll never find another one of these, one owner from new, and then add in the Chinese market because it was sold to a Chinese online bidder. There's a lot of money in the Far East for very important pieces like this. So £24,000, you go and find another. So don't forget, let me know how you're doing down below. One more item, and this will blow your mind. Let me show you item number 3. Do you think this is real? Well, it's obviously a travel trunk, but don't you think it looks fake? It looks like a movie prop. That's when I first saw this thing. My first thought was, you know, Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express film prop from the 1970s movie, or maybe a Poirot, you know, the TV detective, him, something that you might see in his apartment in London. It just looks too good to be real. It's got everything, the Orient Express, it's got London, Paris, Istanbul. I mean, is it real? Well, the auctioneers took a look at this thing. It was Druids, and they had a very close inspection of it, and they thought it was real. So they said it was early 20th century, and they estimated this travel trunk at £2,000 to £3,000. But it's over to you. Do you think it's real? And if so, is it worth £2,000 to £3,000? Does it feel expensive or cheap? Well, before you make your mind up, I'll give you a bit more information. So Druids got their teeth into this thing, and they said that it was patinated naturally. It was made from iron and wood and canvas and brass. They said the wear was right. The transfer printing on the front there was worn too, so you lift up the lid, it had stains on the inside, and the carrying handles were missing. So they absolutely believed that this thing was, even though it doesn't look real, was in fact real. So it went on the market and things went a bit bonkers. So how much do you think this travel trunk finally sold for? 15 seconds thinking time starting now.
Of my existence, and nothing you could give us could put it out. And I lost those old sad cemented boots.
And I'm back. This is your final chance to perform here. So how did you do? Estimated at £2,000 to £3,000. They believed it to be real. The final hammer price, get this right, you're doing very well, was £13,000 plus auctioneer's commission. So why did it sell for so much money? Well, obviously, it really is real, as mind-boggling as that is. But those flat-topped travel trunks are really very good news in the business. Now, the domed ones, not so much, but the flat ones make great coffee tables. So there's one reason. Two, you've got those magic, romantic words, the Orient Express. Plus, add in, it came from a first-class carriage. You've got the romance, the travel, the memories. It's just positively bulging with all the things the market is looking for. And yet again, I keep repeating myself, but yet again, when you come across things that you will never find again, then anything can happen. And it did. £13,000 plus auctioneer's commission. And that, no doubt, will become the best, most dramatic, awe-inspiring talking piece coffee table on the planet. So tell me, how did you do overall? 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3, or more likely, none out of 3. But listen, it doesn't matter. Get in touch, send some comments, give me some suggestions. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Come back for my other antique shows and classic car shows. Until next time, thanks for viewing. I'm David Harper. Cheerio.